Head to Asheville, North Carolina this weekend as part of the Maui Invitational, not in Hawaii this year. Hyunjung Lee.
6 years now in Austin.
After VCU, Virginia Commonwealth in Richmond. Pull-up.
Jones had the first Davidson hoop. That was a few seconds ago from downtown, as Corey mentioned. Shot clock under 5 here. Hyunjung Lee.
Went to school with his mom. That's my family. Armando Bay coached my hoop son. Family. So when you look at the matchup, I have to say Texas, the Duke is one of the guys that Ed Cooley will trust to stay on the floor and stay out of foul trouble. He'll allow him to stay out there with 3. You have to recognize
in the leadership position in a year in which we need more of that.
I agree. And Kellen Grady is just one of the many examples that we've seen really throughout this in his matchup and overpowering Davidson's front line.
You can feel an increased sense of urgency on both sides. Now less than 3 minutes to go. You don't want to start the Maui Invitational. Davidson on that run to the Elite 8. Fresh 20. Humped and thought about it. Hyunjung Lee. It's amazing.
I was recruiting. Well, I'm sorry, not recruiting. I had a young man that I was helping with his recruiting and reached out to Coach McMillan.
Less than 2 to go in our first half. Lee left open, top of the key. They got off to a 3-8 start a year ago before really finding their stride, and he told us this week, hey, we don't want to duplicate that. We'd like to. More heartbreak for Davidson here in Asheville. We'll see how the final 4.5 minutes unfold.
Yeah, in third game in 3 days, UNLV could have easily packed it up and said, you know what, it has not been our tournament, but they've done a great job fighting back.
Young season, they have gotten so many good looks on the young season, but they just have so many threats. 1 through 5 capable of knocking down a 3.
Lee from the corner. 2 for 2 from Davidson with the basketball, down by 7. Jones against Shepard, 13 matched up with 13. Here's Hyunjung Lee. He transferred in from Oklahoma. His final game with the Sooners came in the NCAA tournament against Rhode Island. Pretty good one to end on. Here's Lee wide open. Who was saddled with foul trouble in the opening half and has struggled shooting the ball. Just 1 of 9 his last time out, but if that's any indication, he's not deterred. Rebuttal 3 from
quarterback. Grew up in Charlotte. All of Giants fandom hoping that Daniel Jones is healthy as they make a playoff run. Lee, as Dave Christensen checks in. He's from Denmark. It's an international laden roster for the Wildcats.
nice ball reversal there.
Defense by Rhode Island. An equally good look for Lee. And he converts.
What happens when you're guarding Davidson because they have such great spacing on the weak side? You're afraid that if you leave your man, he's going to get an open 3 like that one.
Just an unbelievable, really solid game plan defensively by Davidson. Just making sure, play soft on the perimeter against Russell, make him a driver, and then when he does drive.
Dessou at 6'9". This is Lee. Meninga snatches the offensive rebound, flips it to Grady. Lee, bank, and he gets the offense for Davidson, senior from Boston. Hyunjung Lee fires, splash, count it, and a 41-36 up.
Yeah, we talked about Gilliard not having any steals. There's a steal and an assist. So you got your seniors who are roommates, Grant Golden, Jacob Gilliard, going back explosion. He's been lights out from 3 in this game. His first 3 threes.
Did you see him with his face? He looked a little $100,000 for each school to up their protocols, the social distancing, the testing, etc. They've really done a nice job of making sure
that efficient rotation is going to absolutely give that top 4 in the Atlantic 10 a run for their money. Duquesne doing a lot of switching on the constantly moving.
Brajkovic again getting his hand on it, saving another possession for Davidson. Again, they've outscored Duquesne 10-0 in second chance points. Looking to
practices and maybe get some shots up. I mean, to prepare for a team like Davidson and have half of the practices, it's almost impossible from a scatter report standpoint to get everything in that you need to get in. That's why you have to rely on, he calls it the
Manenga, nice kick out for Grady. Open 3, that's strong. Lee keeps it alive. And a fresh 20. Here's Lee. Ball fake. So calm in the release. And Wildcats ball out of the timeout as they were able to keep it alive on the offensive glass. Collins for Lee. He'll set. Fire. Count it. And a foul.
Holds the play. 22 on the shot clock for the Wildcats. Davidson up 42-25. Here's a skip past Lee. Lee looking to drive. His layup will go. He just forced his...
Whether to stay, whether to go, or whether to go to one of your teammates' houses, which is exactly what Nelson Bocha-Edom did as we are back underway. Here's Lee with a pull-up baseline jumper. Money. Talked much about Hyunjung Lee today, who's got 6 points, but yet he enters this game as one of the best scorers in the A10. I mean, quite frankly, one of the most efficient, that's for sure, at 53%. Here is Lee, who scores. He must have...
Wednesday Night Hockey, Rangers Flyers. Here in Olean, New York, it is 53-46 St. Bonaventure. Hyunjung Lee, another one. Talking to him, I said, do you just say, hey, Kyle, we'll see you at halftime when you send him out there to start the game? He says, no, I just see him after the game. He averages, 38-plus minutes per game as Lee
take it right to the window and score. Really talented kid. But I'm really impressed with 35.
Lee will inbound. Collins. Double team. Lee for 3. It's good. 15 threes last night. Carter Collins bumped from behind. Off the high screen from Brajkovic. Lee for 3. It's good.
We get a look there at Cam Hayes, one of the youngsters on this club. Lee popping out for 3. Got it.
Well, allowing his players to empower their voices and use them on their platform in comparison to the coach speaking out for everyone.
Lee.
She moved out of state and shit then went left. She seeking forgiveness. She used to dance, but she went alone and start up a business. Her daddy is not around.